Folks, joining us right now is Melanie Campbell, who leads the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation. So, Melanie, glad to see you here. This is the third or fourth year of the report.
Yes, yes.
The real purpose behind it. What's the purpose behind it?
The purpose is for us to know, it's an organizing tool, really, right? It's a way also to tell our stories, but not from what we think, but what Black women tell us, what they're concerned about, what their issues are. So for 4 years, with the Black Women's Roundtable and Essence, being able to partner and talk to an audience at least annually through that report, that poll, power of the sister vote poll is what we call it, to find out what issues are most important to Black women, to find out what we want from the President of the United States or the Congress, what kinds of ways Black women are being activists or around the community, and so it's multi-generational, which is also very multi-generational, and across the board. It's a way for us to know what to do with this. So, and now we know for Black women, the shift was major from last year to this year. For 3 years.
Because last year, of course, it got the Democrats' attention when there was a 10-point drop
11 points
among African women in terms of for Democrats, and so that change that caused Tom Perez and others to say, "Oh wait, we got to pay attention to what's going on."
And it didn't go up. It didn't go down a lot. It went down maybe 1 point, but it continued to go down. So the Democrats have to understand you got much more work to do to make sure that Black women can regain our trust, and that's really, really critical.
What jumped out for you the most in this year's report?
Affordable health care for 3 years has been the #1 issue. It's still an important issue, but the #1 issue for Black women is dealing with hate crimes and racism. Right, and the second is criminal justice and policing, right? And so you look at the social justice issues that balled up to the top, whereas before it was mixed. Some years it always has been affordable health care, but then it was education or livable wage jobs. All those issues are important, but we're living in a time that we're under siege from the top. From the White House on down, when you have the kind of level of overt racism where people are experiencing real life, that poll told us what we kind of knew, but now we know, and it now allows for us. We got 56 days as of this moment to shift the power in this country to a balance. I'm nonpartisan, but I'm just saying. Also, as someone who is a political analyst, the reality is we can shift power. Black women can do that, and we're paying attention. So this gives us a roadmap on what kind of messages Black women want to hear about, right?
Did you also see from last year to this year, young Black women realize they can't sit an election out? Because if you saw the numbers of young black folks, 18 to 29, after 2016, significant number of them were not interested in voting. They say, well, neither candidate is appealing to me. Some people even said, well, Hillary Clinton, she's the same as Donald Trump. Here we are almost 2 years later. People are going, oh, there clearly was a difference. And so did the report also speak to what young Black women said they learned from 16 to present day?
Exactly. And young Black women, there was a big jump in them seeing themselves as being active in community, like a 10-point change from last year to this year. So being active in community, seizing our power. This whole conversation was about the power of Black women, right? To politically, economically, socially. But the sister who really today really touched many of, I know it touched me, was Shaklesia Clemens, who was the young sister who was dragged in Waffle House in Alabama, who was here. And we had to pause and realize this is the real life consequences of us not being able to change these issues around criminal justice and policing reform, all those things. And so it was a real life moment that we had to pause on. And so we had sisters in here from all walks of life, elected officials, corporate America, labor, sisters who are on the ground who took a moment, right, to come out, and we came together to share, but organize and unite, and know that we're gonna push and run to the finish line to change the power in this country, because our children's lives, our children's lives, we talk about this, are really at stake, and it's nothing to play with. And so we came here to really lift up and pull ourselves at a sister, what we say, a sister power table, not just to sit around and have a dialogue and conversation, but strategize and organize.
And look, you spent many years on the ground, mobilizing and organizing, and one of the things that I think is different that I see this year than in previous years, where you have African Americans, black women and black men, who are saying we don't have time to wait until the third week in September or October 1st for a candidate or for a party to step up. You are seeing African Americans who are creating political action committees,
right? Exactly.
All across the country. Just yesterday, I got a text message. The brother who was the mayor of Birmingham is creating a political action committee to drive folks to the polls. And that's the other thing that also is interesting. And look, we talk all the time about resources. Hear black folks saying, you know what? We're not waiting.
Right. Look, we had sisters in there from Collective PAC to APRI to Black Voters Matter Fund, of course, our Unity campaign. We had folks in there in the sisters room who were not just talking about we need to go vote, organizing, raising money, do what we need to do. We cannot wait. We're not waiting on a party to do what we need to do. So that's the other part of this. And so being able to come together and support each other and find out, okay, these are ways that we can work together. So we had that Unity 18 campaign, and thank you for been supporting that all year. We've been meeting and organizing from last year, right? And being able to make sure that that in these last 56 days, we want everybody to know they have a role to play.
Right. But the key, though, is not just 56 days. There's registration deadlines coming up.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people keep talking about vote, 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 but if you're not registered, you can't vote.
Right. Well, tell them they can go to our unitycampaign.org site, and they can find out where they need to go. Check your registration status. Make sure, even if you've been registering for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, check your voter registration status.
Well, and the thing that I've told people is there's nothing against filling the form out again.
Exactly.
So there's no rule that say I can't do it. I mean, I do that in Texas all the time. I'll go home and I'm like, look, I don't know what y'all did between last time and this time. So I'm going to fill it out. There you go. And I'm not worried about it.
And especially when we don't know what other rules are going to change, because we have a Justice Department that's not about justice for our people, especially around voting rights. We know we don't have what we had in 2008 and 12. There's been so many states that have created all kinds of rules, and they could change the rules tomorrow or the day after that or the day after that, because you don't have a Justice Department that's going to do anything about it.
Right. Plus, you also don't have Section 4
and you have,
of the Voting Rights Act with preclearance.
And our lawyers, we had lawyers in the room. We had lawyers committee. We had Kristen in the room. So we know the lawyers are doing what they need to do, but we also know that voting starts early. You're going to have people voting in the early part of September. Absentee ballots are starting. So we really are in the voting period. You know, we say November 6th, but really it's a right now moment.
Right. All right. Melanie Campbell, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks so very much.
And thank you so much, Roland.
All right. Thanks.